What's going on, culés? Welcome back to BlaugranaZzone, your destination for all things Football Club Barcelona. So, right now we're going to do a little bit of a match preview for the game against Sevilla this weekend. Really important considering Real Madrid won today, 3-1. They got the job done, cool. But it just means that now we need to get the job done so we can stay top of La Liga. That's our biggest priority. We need to go back to back in La Liga. I think that's very important for us, especially just to prove that last year wasn't an anomaly, you know? It's to prove that Barca is back for the long run. No more, Europa League, battling for top four. No, we're here to dominate. And it's going to be very important to showcase that tomorrow against Sevilla, who is historically a team that can give us a lot of problems, right? I know tomorrow Real Madrid is going to be putting on their Sevilla jerseys bright and early, 10 a.m. Eastern. But obviously we have a lot to talk about just getting into the lineup, right? Because right now we're injury FC, bro. We're missing Fermin. We're missing Joan Garcia. We're missing Rafinha. And now we're missing Lamine Yamal, right? Obviously, the biggest miss of all those is Lamine, right? He's our creator. He's a great attacker. He's starting to trek back and even play some good defense. But it's just really heartbreaking that it has to happen this way, right? If you've been living under a rock, you don't know. Now I'm going to tell you. Luis DeLa Fuente called up Lamine Yamal, bro, to play against Georgia and some other country, man. Like, it makes absolutely no sense to call up Lamine, especially when he's coming off of an injury, when Spain is so stacked, bro. Like, they have, like, Spain's regular 11 and their bench and the reserves are all great players. You really don't need Lamine for these two games. But obviously, the reports came out from Barcelona that the injury was re-aggravated and that Lamine would be sidelined for 2 weeks, which obviously means he won't play. He won't be playing for Spain, right? Spain called him up at like 2 p.m. Eastern. By 5 p.m. Eastern, they had to take it back because the injury reports came out and Lamine would not be playing for Spain. But that meant that Lamine wouldn't be playing for Barcelona either. And now it's become a little bit of a war between words, Hansi Flick versus Luis DeLa Fuente. Obviously, De La Fuente has been the Spain coach for a while now, but obviously he's been treating Barca players kind of unfairly, right? He was the coach when Gavi got injured. He was the coach when Pedri got injured. And now he's the coach when Lamine Yamal is getting injured, right? I got to say, this brother might be an undercover Madridista, bro. Because, like, he won't even call these Spanish Madrid players, right? Granted, they haven't had many Spanish Madrid players. But yeah, it's not looking good. But I think this might be tactical mind games from Hansi Flick, right? Because after Lamine had that injury, he obviously missed a couple of games with us. And Hansi Flick came out in the media and said, yeah, like, it's very disheartening that a coach would play a player of this caliber for a full 90 minutes when you're already up, right? I think Spain won those games by multiple goals, and Lamine played all 90 minutes, already having communicated his discomfort. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. Why wouldn't you want to protect your gem, right? So then after that, Luis de la Fuente, about 2 days ago, they asked him about these comments. And he just said, what did Hansi Flick say? I don't even care. I don't remember. If Lamine is fit to play, I call him and he will play. Which is kind of like this tyrant mentality that I think Luis de la Fuente has been instilling in the Spanish national team that I really don't like, right? Like, you have to be worried about your players' fitness, their health, how they're going to contribute to the club. And honestly, when Barca does well, Spain does well. They help one another. You can't have one without the other, really. Even historically, right? That Spain 2010 World Cup winning team was like 80% Barcelona. But I digress. So after that came out, after that interview came out, the following morning is when the reports from Barcelona came to say that Lamine Yamal will be sidelined. He re-aggravated the injury. But this could be tactical mind games from Hansi Flick, that we pull out our player, we have him sit down. We need our other guys to take care of business, really, with Sevilla. Allow Lamine to sit, get back to full health, miss the games with Spain. That's fine. Spain will be okay, bro. They will win. It's Georgia and like Uzbekistan or something that they're playing. It's not the actual teams, but it's teams of that caliber, right? Obviously, Spain's gonna win. But all that being said, Lamine won't be playing with us. So here is the players that were called up for this game. Obviously, Chesney and Diego Cochin were called up. Balde, Araujo, Cubarsi, Christensen, Gerard Martin, Kunde, and Eric Garcia. Which I think is fair, right? No Joffrey Torrens, obviously, because Balde is back. And Gerard Martin has been healthy. He's been fit. He's been holding his own, really. I have no problems there, to be honest. Midfield, we've got Pedri, Marc Casado, Dani Olmo, Frankie de Jong, Marc Bernal, and Dro, which is also great considering that we don't have Fermin Lopez, right? I think with Fermin there, maybe Dro doesn't get the call up. And that's fine. You know, we're known for cranking out these La Masia gems, and Dro is another one. Trust me. And then our forwards, we've got Ferran Torres, Lewandowski, Marcus Rashford, Rooney Bargi, and Fernandez. Which, okay, obviously, the elephant in the room, Lamine is not there. This is going to give Fernandez a chance to get some minutes, possibly, maybe like some garbage time minutes. But still, we're giving our La Masia talents a chance to shine, which is what Lamine had before he became Lamine Yamal, right? So the starting 11 that I believe is going to play is Chesney, right? Undisputed. We're going to have at the left back, I can see Balde starting this game just because I would want him to, you know, get back into peak fitness. But just to be safe, I'm going to say Gerard Martin starts, right? Because obviously we don't want Balde to re-aggravate an injury going into international break. And then when we come back, we have a string of difficult games, including a Clásico to finish October. So obviously, to not risk Balde, Gerard Martin starting left back. We've got, I think we're going to have Araujo and not Cubarsi, I'm sorry. Araujo and Christensen, right? Because Cubarsi made a very, very fatal mistake in Barca's last game against PSG, leading to that Senimayulu goal, which is honestly going to haunt me. It's going to haunt me just as much as that Ronald Araujo red card from like 2 or 3 years ago now. Just not happy memories. So I'm going to go with Araujo and Christensen starting. And then at the right back, I think that Eric Garcia will get the start because he's been performing amazing, brother. He's been balling out at every position that Hansi Flick puts him into. That loan move to Girona was maybe top 5 loan moves ever. When do you see a lone player actually go to the other club, get better, and come back? Like even Calvin Phillips for Man City, it hasn't been that way. But I digress. And then at the midfield, obviously, Pedri and Frankie de Jong, I think they will both be starters tomorrow. And at the cam, I can definitely see Dro getting a start over Dani Olmo because Dani Olmo stunk it up against PSG, bro. I don't mind giving Dro the start. I think he's a very, very talented baller. We've seen it. Every time he gets an opportunity, he takes the opportunity. So I think Dro will get that starting spot. And the forwards for tomorrow, I could see us going with Lewandowski getting his first start. I believe that's his first start, right? Because he's been typically subbing into games. And if not, my apologies. But Lewandowski will be the striker. Ferran on the left, Rashford on the right. And I think that's gonna be our key to success, really. The only problem that I see with that though is that we'll be very thin if we need any subs, right? And for that reason, Rooney might start. But I don't know. Rooney could possibly sub in and have an impact against tired legs from Sevilla, right? So I think that will be the starting 11 tomorrow. I think that we can obviously make a statement having this win without Lamine on the field, without even having Lamine being called up, right? And that would be missing Lamine, missing Rafinha, missing Joan Garcia, missing Fermin Lopez. We're injury FC right now. But obviously, this game against Sevilla is going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. Sevilla is coming off of a win against Rayo Vallecano, who we tied against, right? Obviously, Rayo had a red card in that game. It makes a little bit of a difference, but still, they beat the opponent that we couldn't beat, right? Which it says a lot about the Sevilla team. They're very strong. They've at least had 1 goal in each of their last 5 games, even if they didn't get a win, right? They tied against Elche. They beat Girona, they beat Alaves, they lost to Villarreal, which is like Sevilla is this kind of streaky team that's difficult to figure out based on form because they're never like in top form, right? One week they could be great, the next week they could be garbage. But every time that it comes to Barcelona, they always seem to get up for that game. It's very annoying to watch as a fan. Obviously, now they have back Alexis Sanchez, who I think is going to be a huge attacking threat. We're going to have to really be careful with him. The only good thing is that he played at Barcelona. So I think that like our players have at least studied him, right? Because he's obviously was a big part of Barca and their history. But tomorrow's game is going to mean a lot, man. I think that if we can make a strong statement win, we can at least breathe easy until after international break. Because those 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks are going to feel very, very long with no Barca. And I think tomorrow's game will give Hansi Flick an opportunity to prove that he has more tactics in his pocket, that he's more than just the high line. Because I've been seeing Hansi Flick getting crucified left and right about the high line, brother, but the high line got him a sextuple. Like, he's not a scrub either. And tomorrow, I think he could really prove that as a coach. I need angry Hansi Flick to be coaching, you know? I need Hansi Flick to have a coaching masterclass tomorrow. And obviously, we need our players to step up as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know how you guys think we're going to line up. And let me know what you guys think the score is going to be. I say Barca will win 3-2. Right? And I'm saying 3-2 because I think that we might get off to a shaky start, right? Conceding maybe an early goal. Then maybe we bag in 3 and in the dying minutes of a game, and Alexis Sanchez, a nice little ceremonious goal, if we will, right? But obviously, I got Barca picking up all 3 points this weekend and leading La Liga into international break. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and VISCA Barça.